American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. From the SIG SAUER Studios. On the Patriot Mobile Platinum microphone. Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now on a Monday. It is a Monday, is it not, Greg? Help me out.
Oh, yeah, it's Monday.
I had a Zoom call earlier today. Was on for about 45 minutes, and I asked the guy that I was talking to on the Zoom call. He was in San Diego, 8 o'clock his time, 11 my time. I said, what day is it? He said, it's Monday, I think. I said, oh, don't say you think. It's Mondays. Bleed right in, don't they? From Sunday's Monster Cast?
Oh, man, they do.
That was a great program last night. We got a lot of great information from all of our guests. Alan Gottlieb, Stephen Gutowski, AWR Hawkins, John Lott, and the Roundtable Classic as usual. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Walters here in the 6 Hour Studios, filling your prescription for freedom today and every day. Today in front of the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center microphones, all being brought to you by the great X Insurance. Greg, we're all over social media again today. Tell people where they can jump on the program, get in the chat and all that fun stuff. We'll get cracking with our Monday guest, Andy Hoosier.
Yeah, sure. If you want to watch the show, just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters over on YouTube and Rumble. On X, it's at AAR Mark. If you want to join our live chat, all you have to do is download the Telegram messaging app, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Get my mic up, and I'll get it out. And Andy go together, don't they?
They do.
And Facebook.com/Armed American Radio. Facebook.com/Armed American Radio. Like and share the post. Join us over on Twitter at AAR Mark. Many of you are. Follow us, and if you don't want to miss a live show, you can subscribe on your favorite podcast platform to ArmedAmericanRadio.com. We have just surpassed 20,100,000 downloads. The numbers just keep going up every single day. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Thanks for that. Andy Hoosier, the voice of reason. Jump on in with us, my brother. How are you?
What's up, Mark Walters? Happy Monday. And yeah, it's a podcast. It's a radio show podcast.
It's a podcast. It's a radio show. What, that sounds like, what was that? It's a bird. It's a plane.
That's right. It's a bird. It's a plane. Radio. It's Mark Walters.
Yeah. Hey, can we call in? Yeah, sure. Call 877 blah, blah, blah. East of the Rockies. You know, remember those days on the radio?
Mm-hmm.
East of the Rockies. So, Andy, I have to start a Monday with you. I was talking about you on air last night briefly because the weather was beautiful, and we were just talking about how you hate that. Is it warm in Wichita now, I hope?
It is 74 degrees, so pretty miserable. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, it's nice weather is a relative term because, yeah, I mean, I guess it's not bad right now. It's really once it gets above about 80, that's when I kind of check out. So I am not looking forward to summertime. I can deal with this right now. I can get a nice little tan going on and feel the nice warm weather. But yeah, this is about my peak. It could just stay like this the rest of the summertime.
Well, good news, Andy. Here in Texas, it's 79 degrees, so we're not quite over your threshold there.
All right, that's manageable. That's manageable.
The threshold, I didn't know there was. I just wanted to. I wanted to get so hot.
Mark will be there.
Hot. I mean, hot that I say come August. God, when's fall coming?
Come May and June, we're going to be in the hundos, Mark, and you're going to be regretting this statement.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah, because it gets really hot in the studio. Oh, it bakes, man.
Yeah,
you got lights all over and you got electronic equipment, but whatever. It's fun. It's what you choose to do for a living. I'd rather do this than I don't know. What would I rather not be doing?
A lot of things.
Pick anything. I'd rather not be doing anything except this. Andy, you probably get that too, with being on radio, right?
Yeah. No, we're in radio. There's not much other industry that I would do. That short amount of time when I did walk away from it, what was it, back in 2019? I was like, man, this sucks. I miss my radio show.
Yeah, I kind of miss going in the studio before I built one here, but.
You don't. Trust me.
Yeah, you're kind of right about that.
You don't.
Right
you can't have a bottle of whiskey down by your feet in this studio where you can in yours.
And a gun.
Exactly.
In an FCC-controlled studio. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not have whiskey at my feet, okay? We know a guy who does. Right? We know a guy who does. And many of you longtime listeners know who that is, but we shall not name names, Shanto. Did I just... Did I just go there? Oh, you longtime listeners, no. I'm just having fun. I'm just funning. So, fun radio studio story to start a Monday with you. I was in Dallas broadcasting. Greg and I were talking about this during the break, Andy. You'll appreciate it. And I had some guys with me, and a couple guys wanted to take a smoke break during one of the breaks at the top of the hour. And we were at the Salem Radio Network studios in Dallas. Greg, you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
So Greg was upstairs running the boards, and I said, come on, guys, I'll show you where to go. So I took them all outside. We're hanging out for a little bit. You know, I looked down at the watch. I said, we got 2 minutes. We got to get back upstairs. And the doors were locked. And yet nobody had phones or anything. And we're like, oh, no, Greg better figure this out because we're in the middle of the show, you know. So Greg finally figures it out, comes bolting downstairs, opens the door. He's got the intro music playing.
Yeah, as we walk in the studio, the show opens playing.
The show open is playing, and we all got back in our seats, and that's the beautiful part about radio. Nobody knew it unless we decided to tell them.
We were laughing about it on the air.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. You can do some fun stuff. There's no doubt about it. So, Andy, you know, I was, honestly, today, I was playing some guitar, and I was kind of chilling on a Monday, which I'm apt to do on a Monday, or I want to do on a Monday because it's a long week, and I treat Mondays kind of like Fridays at the ranch a little bit after the Sunday show, you know, even though you still have to work on Monday. But I really didn't have a lot planned with you other than let's do a Google gun control Monday with you because that always works. So are you game for
especially
that?
After a weekend. Well, yeah, especially after a weekend, there's always something weird going on.
It really does. But current events, let's talk a little bit about what you're going to be talking about on your show coming up in the next hour. There's so much happening. What does Andy Hoosier have just on the political front, the fun front, the golly, we got to talk about this? Throw it at me. Then I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah, well, there's a lot, obviously, that's going on. It is not stopping. I will say, and this honestly even refers a little bit to the Second Amendment, but there was an interview that was done over the weekend on Trey Gowdy's program on Fox News. I don't know if you saw it with Kash Patel.
I did not.
And asked him. So Trey Gowdy, I may have the audio here. I might be able to play it for you because I have it ready. Here we go. I have it queued up for my show. So
do it.
I'll just play the interview for you here. It's a real quick. Trey Gowdy asked Kash Patel and says, "Hey, you've been as the FBI director for exactly 1 month so far. What's the update from the Federal Bureau of Investigations, and what have you been able to accomplish so far in the first month as the FBI director?" And he says this.
This shows what the men and women of the FBI can do when they have leadership who are in lockstep with the national security mission of safeguarding our citizens. Just in the last 3 weeks, Trey, the FBI has arrested and brought to justice, thanks to the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi, 3 top 10 of the FBI's most wanted. Let me just say that again.
Okay, so Mark, come on, man. We're a month into the FBI. We're a month into this administration with some of the new leadership, and they've arrested 3 of the FBI's top 10 most wanted. What the hell have we been doing for so many years if it took a month for them to get this done?
You know, we talked about that on Armed American Radio, but we went a little bit further because Kash has said that he's going to be swinging 1,000 ATF agents over to the FBI. All right.
Yeah.
And that was quite the topic of conversation last night, and I got everybody's perspective, every guest's perspective on that. I want to get your perspective on that, too, because it's in that wheelhouse, right? Because you're right. What the hell have we been doing? Well, what we've been doing is going after Catholic churches, going after Christians, wasting FBI resources, which, ladies and gentlemen, is your tax dollars on parents at school board meetings, okay? This was from the party telling us that Donald Trump is a Nazi and a fascist and a tyrant. This is what the Democrat Party was doing to American citizens using our tax dollars to do that. And it couldn't be more evident than when you see Kash Patel come in and make that statement. Now we're going after criminals. So is swinging 1,000 of the ATF agents over to FBI a bad thing, Andy?
No, it's not. Look, I mean, we're reprioritizing what the FBI is doing. We are resetting and exactly focusing on what we're supposed to do. And obviously, there's a large catch-up to-do list, honey-do list that the FBI has had for a long time that we haven't been focusing on. So to swing 1,000 ATF workers over to the FBI, to get done what actually is supposed to get done, I'm not worried about under someone like Kash Patel. Now, if it was the previous administration with the previous FBI directors,
right.
I would be very concerned because, like you said, with how they've weaponized all these different agencies against American citizens, I would be very scared. Now they're saying, hey, not only are we backtracking and not doing those things, we need to play catch up on the things we actually need to do, which is catch bad
30
and stop bad guys from doing bad things. What the hell's wrong with that?
I don't know. I might disagree with you. I think 75-year-old women protesting in front of an abortion clinic is something we should be wasting our tax dollars on, Andy. And I'm saying that obviously tongue in cheek, but that's exactly what happened. They put a 75-year-old woman in jail for peacefully protesting in front of an abortion clinic. Now, when we come back, I have a couple more pointed questions regarding that ATF since we're on that. Then we're going to go to a Google Gun Control Monday. We're going to do that live on the air for you, ladies and gentlemen, because it's always fun to do. I have no idea what's going to pop up, but we will literally Google gun control in front of you, and we will read the headlines. And, Andy, I'll even let you pick the headlines we want to go over. How's that for fun on a Fun Day Monday? Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues with Andy Hoosier, the voice of reason, KQA, and Wichita's Big Talker right after this.
The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, welcome back indeed. Patriot Mobile phone if you're watching on your devices. If you're not, I'm holding up a Patriot Mobile phone. Theater of the mind. Gotta love radio. You can activate a Patriot Mobile phone too. It's real simple. Just port your number over. Just visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and you can join Patriot Mobile like I lost count. I heard the number a couple weeks ago, and it's huge. And a lot of them are you, and we appreciate it. Do business with people that you want to do business with, that want to do business with you, that share your ideology and share your convictions and share your love and support for the Second Amendment, etc. Patriot Mobile does all of that, and you can find it all out at patriotmobile.com/AAR. Patriot Mobile reps will be here again on Thursday, coming up in just a few days. Mark Walters in the 6 Sauer Studios with you on the Patriot Mobile mic. It's all being brought to you by X Insurance. Please visit all of our great partners. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com. Andy Hoosier, the voice of reason, welcome back in, brother. Let's keep the conversation going.
Yes, sir.
All right, so those 1,000 ATF agents, I was talking with Gottlieb about that last night over at Second Amendment Foundation, and he said, Mark, you sometimes got to be careful what you wish for. And here's where he went with this. And he brought up a great point. I wound up carrying that through the discussion with the remainder of our guests to get their perspective on that. We heard from both sides of it. But his concern was the FBI is much better funded than the ATF. They have far more resources than the ATF. And you probably got some bad apples over there at the ATF because those are the people that are working at the ATF now, that not all of them, but a lot of them, that know they're working for a weaponized agency, and it didn't seem to bother them. Now you want to shift them over to the FBI and give them more resources. And where he was going with this is, yeah, on the surface, it's good, okay? In the long run, no doubt, because it weakens the ATF and gets them off the backs of law-abiding Americans, which they've been going after. Us, gun owners, they've killed people, going after gun dealers, zero tolerance, all the nonsense that's been going on that rogue agency filled with a bunch of jerks. However, is that the people you want at the ATF with more money and more resources, right? Number one. And number two, he said, really what you need to do is you need to get at the legislation. You need to get at the rulemaking process. You need to put a stop to all of that so that the ATF can't do that no matter who's in charge of the ATF. All right? You've got to end all that. Yeah. So I'd like to get your comments on that while we're talking about it, and we'll move on. And we will Google gun control live in front of you and see what happens.
Yeah, I would say yes to all the above. I mean, you're right. Look, I mean, in the immediate, it is, I have no problem with 1,000 ATF agents moving over to the FBI because of the fact, again, the FBI is because, like I said, I mean, it's at that level of we need to get caught up on actually stopping bad guys from doing bad things in the communities right now. The FBI for the longest time has been an activist organization. The CIA, the FBI, they've been weaponized against the American people. We need to stop that, and we need to get back to actually getting bad guys, which is what their goal is. And under Kash Patel and now Dan Bongino, I think we'll do a fantastic job at doing that. And it does kind of take resources away and from the mobility of the ATF doing their job. Here's what I will say is that on both fronts, it should be temporary. And like you said, with the legislation, we should be limiting and downsizing the size of the ATF, if not abolishing that completely, and downsizing the FBI as well. Once we get the bad guys, there's no reason to have 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 FBI agents around the country. Do we still have things we need to work on? Yeah. I just did an interview with our director for the Kansas Bureau of Investigations, the KBI, Tony Mativi. He's a wonderful guy. And, they're working on the fentanyl coming into the state of Kansas. They've been working on human trafficking with the amount of pedos that are online buying up, kitty websites, which is just ridiculous. They've been working a lot on that kind of stuff, and they are hard at work at that. And God bless them for doing what they do. That stuff is never going to go away, and we're always going to need these agencies for that. For the major terrorists, there's never going to be an end to terrorism. However, if we get most of the heads of the terrorist organizations, then they will at least be essentially powerless, and we can start decreasing the influence and the authority of the FBI. We can go after the FISA courts. There's a lot of things that we can do to begin to downsize and to limit the power of these militant agencies that are in the federal government. So that way, regardless of what administration's in, what happened before cannot happen again.
Never again.
So yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of work that we have to do. I don't have a problem with this now. But again, it needs to be temporary. And at the end of the day, when all of this is said and done, if we're as productive as what Kash Patel's been in the first month of the administration, there's no need to have as many agents as what we currently have right now.
Yeah, and I ask you, Andy, and I ask you, listeners, do you really believe Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are going to let rogue ATF agents into the FBI to start screwing the average citizen? It's not going to happen under these two guys.
It's not going to happen.
No, they've made that very clear in post. Bongino met. We covered that last night. Bongino has met with ATF officials. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that meeting. Whew.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm sure he was pretty firm. Just having listened. No, I don't know Dan. However, I'm pretty up on his politics, as most of us are. But I do know Kash, and it's not going to happen. It's just simply not going to happen. And again, I trail that same thing over to Bondi as well. I know a lot of people are, trepidatious, use that fun word, about Bondi. People have their reservations because of her support for some of the Parkland stuff in the past. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to happen if she wants to keep her job under Trump. And we'll talk about it more tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, but there have been some more positive moves on Bondi and pushing forward with the executive order on Trump's executive order for gun control. Now, Andy,
and what about Mike? What about that as well? You mentioned Pam Bondi. What about the Epstein list? I thought that was supposed to be like a major thing, and we're still waiting on that as well. I mean, I know they're looking over at Kash Patel's looking over that, but where is it?
I hate to disappoint you, but we will at this point likely never know. And again, I gave Bondi a benefit of the doubt there. The deep state's deeper than she ever thought. That's when I used that phrase. She got ahead of her skis. Okay, I'm going to come in there and go like gangbusters. Well, that's if you believe that information is going to be handed over by bureaucrats who have been there for 20 years that are protecting people on a payroll. All right? And think of whose names are on that list. A lot of them are committee heads or previous committee heads. We will never get to the bottom of that. And even if you think we did because they told you we did, you're not going to believe it anyway. Would you believe anything the FBI came out with now about Vegas? Maybe more so with Patel and Bongino at the head of the organization, but I'm here to tell you now, those guys aren't going to know everything because the deep state is going to do what deep state criminals do. They're going to criminal deep state.
That's exactly it. I mean, the FBI director that did resign out of New York, I know they had the massive amount of Epstein documents, and according to what we had heard, I want to say about a week ago under the Trump administration, I think Donald Trump said it himself, or maybe it was Pam Bondi, or Alina Abba that had mentioned that they're going through the rest of the Epstein documents, and they're doing it. I guess you're right. We got to be patient. They're doing it properly because they're building the legal case against these individuals. So that way it doesn't go public and then they lose the ability to actually arrest them and charge them and do what they need to do. I get it. I'm frustrated. I want the Epstein list.
Of course.
I want the JFK assassination list. I want the UFO list. I want everything, and I want it right now. Just open up the government, make it into a massive museum, and let us see every single thing that they're doing. That's the level that I want right now, and I'm frustrated that it's not happening.
We all do, and we want it yesterday, just like you said. We want this information a week ago. It's going to take some time. And as much as I hate to admit that, I get that, okay? And I think people like Bondi now get that too, better than they did before. All right, but it's government, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you this: it's moving at a warp speed now you've never seen before under Trump. And if you need any evidence of that, just look at the fact that the lamestream media is out there telling you AOC is the future of the Democrat Party. Good heavens! We'll be right back.
Designed, engineered, and manufactured right here in America. Daniel Defense, freedom, passion, precision.
Yeah, freedom, passion, precision. Guys, you have until Friday to get on that email list at Daniel Defense and put your name in for that icebreaker at Daniel Defense. It's the only one left. It's incredible. If you want to see it, you got to get on the email list, DanielDefense.com. Make sure to do that. And check out all of our partners. You can find them all at ArmedAmericanRadio.com, AmmoSquared.com. Pushing that hard. Great way to store ammo. I will get my email tomorrow saying your payment was successful, and on Wednesday, I will get an email saying you've got ammo. And every Wednesday I get it. Weeks and weeks go by, and I've got thousands of rounds of ammo now for $15 a week. You can do the same thing, whatever budget you want. It can be $5 a week. It can be $500 a week. It could be $5,000 a week. Whatever you want to do, it could be $5,000 a month. You set it up. It's that simple. AmmoSquared.com. And when you start running that ammo through all those great guns you have, guess what? Barrel Buddies got you covered. They got you covered for cleaning and patented system. Pitch the patch. Get rid of it. It's yesterday's news. Start using Barrel Buddies. You can find those at the SIG Academy as well. That's how that's saying a lot about Barrel Buddies, ladies and gentlemen. They're being carried at the SIG Academy too. Premier place for firearms training at the SIG SAUER Academy. So make sure to check that out. BarrelBuddy.com, BarrelBuddy.com, and all of our great partners. ArmedAmericanRadio.com. Andy Hoosier, the voice of reason. Welcome back, my brother, from another malap.
Yes, sir.
So let's do something fun. Let's Google the words gun control. Do you want to do that and see what pops up?
I already did, and there's really
you did.
There's a really interesting story today.
Well, if you did it,
I didn't even do gun control. I just Googled guns, and yeah, one of the most fascinating stories actually popped up already.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to Google gun control. You've just Googled guns, and let's compare lists. What fascinating story did you find? Let's see if it's up on gun control as well. I just Googled it right here.
The first story right out of the gate from the Colorado Sun about Boulder County, Colorado.
I think I know where you're going. Go ahead. Take it. You're hosting. What is it?
Here you go. 11 hours ago, the headline from the Boulder Sun: did Boulder County ban firearms on hiking trails?
Ooh, I don't see that on here. Now, what I do see is the Denver Post. So let's stay on gun control here. Let's talk about both of these. And then we're going to add one in from last night because Colorado, you're a mess. You're just a mess.
Yes.
But that's what happens when you vote for Democrats. I know a lot of you don't, but that's what happens when it happens. This headline from Denver Post 1 hour ago. When was yours? 11 hours ago?
11 hours, yeah.
1 hour ago. Major gun control vote plus hearings for abortion bills this week in Colorado gun control legislature. And here KUN or in Colorado legislature. And here's another one from 2 days ago. After 12 hours of debate, Colorado House approves detachable magazine ban. So Colorado is a wreck. Now here's the one thrown in from last night, Andy. The Colorado GOP rep who was admonished by Democrat leadership because he had a Pro 2A sticker on his laptop. And he was told he had to cover it when he was in the well of the House. Because Colorado Democrats don't like the First Amendment either, particularly when it's about the Second Amendment. They found it offensive, a Pro 2A sticker on a laptop. Now, I don't know. This is why this is why I don't run for office. I don't know how I could handle that. Okay? I'd make a stink. I'd be all over the evening news as a representative that day. Because that, to me, that would be something I would fight. Right? Let them throw me out.
Yes.
I'm not, you're a moron. And I guarantee you the public would side with him if he did that.
Right.
But he won't. But he did make some great statements. It's not his fault. Okay? It's what happens when Democrats control things. They screw up everything. So let's take your story first. Go for it. What do you got?
Well, I think it's ironic, and they go back and they reference a Senate Bill 256 that passed back in 2021 that allowed local government entities in Colorado to set their own regulations for gun possession and sales. So they do confirm that the Boulder County government banned firearms on hiking trails, which, I mean, growing up in Colorado, living in Colorado,
there's at least one or two hiking trails in Colorado.
Yeah, there's a few of those around there. Yeah, Boulder County is absolutely hilarious. And even though it may be a little bit more populated, I guess, there are still a lot of wild animals. So I was going to do an over-under on how many people are going to be attacked by mountain lions because they don't have a firearm to protect themselves from going out into the wilderness of Colorado and hiking, because now apparently even in the wilderness of Colorado, you're not allowed to actually carry a firearm. But it includes, by the way, it says not only just firearms, but it includes paintball guns, along with other projectiles that include paintball guns, bows, and slingshots. All of them are banned on hiking trails in Boulder County, Colorado now.
Okay. Let's go here. I would love for somebody to challenge that.
I'm sure they will.
Don't necessarily do it with a firearm right out of the box, right? Unless you want to be that test case. But at least take a slingshot out on a hiking trail.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. Is that a slingshot? Okay, you can mind if I take a look through your bag? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Why? Well, we have a lot of problems with people with slingshots on these hiking trails.
Slingshots are the big problem here.
Slingshots is really in that?
Yeah, it's according to the headline right there. Yes, firearms are prohibited in all parks and open spaces in unincorporated areas, along with paintballs, paintball guns, bows, and slingshots.
What are the Indians going to do? Did I just say that? Oh my God!
That's the world we're living in, man. It's
not the world we're living in. It's the world people who are controlled by Democrats live in.
Oh, in Colorado is absolutely nuts. Now, for those that don't know Boulder, Colorado, Boulder County, obviously where the city of Boulder is, one of the most liberal, left-wing, elitist, ridiculous places in the entire nation. I've said the ridiculous story before of the few times I've had to go to Boulder, unfortunately, was when my brother had a baseball tournament for Little League, and they had an adult softball league tournament going on at the same time, and the team was the Boulder Tree Huggers that was there, and they did not appreciate my near 40 different conservative bumper stickers on the back of my car during my college days. So yeah, it did not favor too well there, but it's a beautiful area, but it is right at the edge of the mountains, and there are many sightings constantly that they get in the local news of kids that go missing from a bus stop because mountain lions have snatched them, of the sightings of mountain lions or bears getting into trash cans.
Bigfoot?
And Bigfoot, actually, where I grew up in Bailey, Colorado, up in the mountains, was actually the number one place in the entire state for Bigfoot sightings. And he was in our backyard. I didn't get to see him, but I did hear him out there. So there was that. Nonetheless, yeah. I mean,
that's a conversation.
There are lots of wildlife that's out there, from bears to mountain lions to elk to other things that are very large, and Bigfoot, that you need to be aware of. And for Boulder County to ban any type of firearm, slingshot, paintball gun, bow and arrow, anything, is absolutely insane. They already have stories about kids being snatched at bus stops, for crying out loud, because of mountain lions. If they find a 4, 5, 6-year-old kid, that's a perfect snack for them that they snatch all the time.
Not to mention pedos.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah, Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, you try to make sense of them. You can't. You can't do it. It's okay to have a patchwork of laws throughout the state, but I would absolutely be willing to be a test case with a slingshot in Colorado.
That could get you 364 days in jail.
A slingshot. The public outrage would be huge. It really, truly would be huge. Even in Boulder, I believe.
30.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know. Boulder's probably a place. I don't know. I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I'll be called something phobic, and I'm just not going to do that. I guess I'm dem-phobic. Let me put it that way. I'll leave it at that. I was going to go to a subset, but I'm not going to do that. We're getting ready to take a break. When we come back, we'll cover a couple stories that popped up on gun control. And I do want to give you a heads up on the Fourth Circuit case, the Snopes case. We were waiting for a response from SCOTUS this morning at 9:30 a.m. or 10 a.m. this morning, and we got one. I'll tell you what it wasn't when we come back after the break. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues on the flip side with Andy Hoosier, the voice of reason, KQAM, Wichita's big talker. He is, in fact, Wichita's favorite son. We'll be right back with Andy Hoosier.
This segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Daniel Defense. Visit DanielDefense.com. Now, back to the show.
Oh, back to the show indeed. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom today and every day here in the 6 Hour Studios, Monday through Fridays, in front of the Patriot Mobile Command Center microphone. Of course, it's all being brought to you by the great X Insurance. Make sure to check them out if you have any insurance needs. I don't care what it's for, whether it's for toys, whether it's for work, whether it's for a single-day event, whether it's for a home, whether it's high-risk business. You know, you own a whitewater rafting company. They got started with that kind of stuff where, you know, if you're into those moto sports and stuff that might be a little bit dangerous. If you own a gun range, it's perfect for you in a number of ranges out there. Use X Insurance because they will cover you and they will make you whole, period, and they will not drop you. They will go to bat for you. X Insurance is there for a reason. Make sure to check them out at xinsurance.com. Again, the easiest way to do it is at armedamericanradio.com. You can just hit it. It's a portal for everything out there that we have. Just go click on armedamericanradio.com and click on sponsors. You can find them all. And don't forget your goat guns. Don't forget your goat guns. Goatguns.com. Goatguns.com. Feed your new addiction. And patriotsrelief.com. I'm still waiting for that stuff to come in. My elbow is killing me, and I miss it. I need some more of that stuff, but it will be here soon enough, and this time I ordered a big enough batch. Andy Hoosier, the voice of reason. Welcome back in, brother.
Yes, sir. By the way, I'm glad you mentioned Bigfoot because whenever you want some time to talk about that, I am totally down.
That doesn't surprise me. We can combine Bigfoot and UFOs together and have an awful lot of fun with that.
There actually is a correlation between the two.
You know, I had lunch. Yeah, okay, here we go. We keep that running because it's on par. My brother-in-law called me last week. He said, hey, I've got a buddy that I play golf with, wants to meet you. He's a fan of the show. Can you hook us up? Can you get together for lunch with us on Thursday last week? So I did. And guy was plugged in, man. He knew his stuff, and it was just a lot of fun. We got to talking about UFOs and stuff the government was hiding from us, and UFOs came out. And as we all paid our tabs and got up to walk away, one of the waiters was sitting at the tables, you know, wrapping up napkins and utensils and stuff. And he goes, I couldn't help it over here, man. You're spot on. That's real. And it's coming out. And this was from one of the waiters over there. And I just loved it. So he and I stood there and had a conversation for a few minutes. Yeah, it was fun. People get it, man. He says they're just waiting for the timing. And we got to talking about that new documentary, Age of Disclosure. I can't wait to see that. In fact, I believe it releases today. Today, March 24th.
Does it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I know what I'm watching tonight then.
Age of Disclosure. I think it might just be in theaters. I'm not sure if there's always ways to watch that stuff online. So I can't wait to see that. They say it is the most consequential documentary ever made on the phenomenon of UAPs, formerly known as UFOs. Fun stuff.
There's a rumor. There's a rumor that the Pleiadians, a race of ETs that are supposed to be appearing and actually showing themselves sometime in the next week, starting anywhere between today and the next week.
Yeah, I wish I had $1 for how many times I found out the world was going to end tomorrow. I'd have a lot of my money back. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. We'll see about that. But anyway.
We'll see if they show themselves.
Let's go back to more UAP aliens, and let's talk more about some Democrats. Let's see. Let's go to Hawaii. Several gun control bills advanced in State House. No, there's a shock. In Hawaii? Really? No. I know we have a lot of listeners in Hawaii. I get emails from you. It's great. Several gun control bills are advancing in the state Senate following review by a key committee this week. Let's take a look at them. Here they are. HB 137 HD1, relating to firearms, provides, and I've not seen this before. We're just doing this live with you. Provides that violent felons that are in violation of the prohibition against owning, possessing, or controlling a firearm or ammunition are subject to a mandatory prison term. Greg, in Dallas, I thought that being a felon in possession right now was already against the law. Am I wrong about that?
It looks like it. Okay. Last we checked.
So let's pull an Alabama Governor Kay Ivey and make Glock switches illegal. Oh, wait, they're already illegal.
Even more illegal or
criminal. And HB 125 HD1, relating to firearms, requires retail sellers or transfers of firearms to provide purchasers with notice, Andy, regarding the law on firearm storage, expands the requirements for the secure storage of firearms, clarifies the offense of criminally negligent storage of a firearm. Now, let me make this very clear. I've done this before. I don't care whether I live in a tiny house or a multi-million-dollar mansion at 30,000 square foot. If I have a gun in the house on top of my refrigerator and my house is locked, my firearm is secured, Andy.
That's right.
I mean,
Yep,
argue
that's
with
exactly
me.
it. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious on how they regulate something like that, unless, of course, they just go off of whoever, an accidental misfiring or, a kid gets a hold of it or something. But yeah, I mean, responsible gun ownership, technically, if you have your house locked and it's inside and it's laying right on top of your coffee table and you're the only one in there, then it is stored properly because that is your firearm and you can do whatever the hell you want to with it. Now, would you? Probably not. Would you have it? Who knows where? I mean, if
That's
you're in
up
the
to me.
kitchen and someone breaks into your house,
I'll put it where I want. I'll put it where I want.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, if you're in the kitchen and you're making dinner and someone tries to break into your house, I doubt that you're going to have time to run upstairs into your room and then unlock the safe and then run back down there, and all of a sudden the bad guy's still trying to break into your house.
Sure you will. Sure you will. No, really. Let's get real. All you have to do is say, "Hold on a second. Give me a minute. I have to get to my gun."
That's right.
I abide by the law. You're the one breaking in my home, but give me a couple seconds. The absurdity of this, ladies and gentlemen, tongue-in-cheek conversation, but the absurdity of it is unbelievable. HB 392 HD1, relating to firearms, prohibits the possession, transfer, and sale of ghost guns, establishes mandatory minimum sentencing for use of a ghost gun in the commission of a felony. I thought using a gun in the commission of a felony was already punishable.
Well, now
you have to make it more punishable.
It doesn't have numbers on it, so it's even more punishable and more illegal.
Of course, we're waiting the Vanderstock case now, so we'll see what happens there. But again, Hawaii doing, everything that's already done. Now, not with safe storage or any of that crap. This is nonsense Democrats, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you get. HB 995, relating to firearms reporting, amends the annual reporting requirements imposed on the Department of the Attorney General and the Chief of Police of each county regarding licenses to carry firearms. Now, you know why Democrats want that reported by those individual organizations who, by the way, should have nothing to do with you being able to carry a firearm, none whatsoever? Is so when you think about this, this is how they can limit how many permits are actually granted, because Hawaii doesn't grant permits anyway. They make you jump through hoops to get them. Now they do. Bruin had an impact on that, but they stand in your way. This is just another way for them to scare public officials who are responsible for giving permits, who shouldn't be involved with permits anyway because they shouldn't need a permit to carry their gun.
And Mark, briefly, I saw the original article that you're talking about from Hawaii, and then I saw a few articles down was another one of the Ninth Circuit Court struck down some rules that Hawaii had implemented, 30. And one of them happens to be after you obtain a permit, you have 10 days to purchase your firearm. They struck that down.
We actually somebody talked about that last night. I think Gottlieb mentioned that in passing, with how much time after you get a permit. Okay, so FOID cards are under attack now. We're going after those, and we're winning these cases. Second Amendment Foundation, ladies and gentlemen, doing the work behind the scenes for you. And one more to cover before we get cut off, Andy. HB 664, relating to gun violence prevention, establishes the Office of Gun Violence Prevention to conduct community outreach. Okay, we don't even want to go there. Andy, I'm going to give you the final word. You just, ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do is Google it every day, and you'll see what they're doing every single day. We can do a show on it every single day without covering the same thing. Go ahead, Andy.
That's right. Yeah, no, the world's insane, and they're feel-good bills. The laws are already passed. It's already a crime to do certain things, but yet they got to do it again.
30.
Even more of a anti-law-ish just to try and feel good about themselves.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was doodling when you were talking. I drew a little UFO with smoke coming out behind it on my pad. Maybe I'll hold that up tomorrow in front of the camera. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is going to get up and do it again tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, because they don't want us to. Andy, people can watch you at who'syourreason.com, who'syourreason.com. You can listen to his show coming up right after this one, ladies and gentlemen. We love you, Andy. Thanks for everything you do. Enjoy your days, folks. Stay safe. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Guys, just so you don't think I was kidding, because I really wasn't kidding. I was just sitting there doodling, and I drew up a little. Let's see if you can see that. There it is. There's the UFO. Can you see it? Pull it back a little bit. Yeah, camera doesn't want to focus on that, does it? No, can't get that. There you go. Yeah, it's shooting at stuff on the ground. It was fun stuff. That's what happens on a Monday. What can I tell you? All right, guys, stay safe out there. Thanks for tuning in today, and enjoy your day. Stay safe. We'll see each and every one of you on the radio. Manana, Lee the Gunwriter Williams will be here as always on a Tuesday. Stay safe. See you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for tuning in.